Hi and welcome to Schmooze with Suze. I'm Suze Montgomery, your host, and got an interesting show tonight because I was really curious. My girlfriend, Pattie Mullins, who I invited on, and two other guests, runs Make-A-Wish. And Make-A-Wish Foundation, to me, is something that very heartwarming, very heartfelt, community, but I don't know enough about it to be able to talk to my friends about it, so I wanted to be more conversant, so I invited Pattie and Skylar and Stephanie Eubanks to also be my guest so they can tell me their experiences as well. But before we go there, I wasn't going to do this, but I got to do it. What is going on in Washington, D.C.? I mean, like, really, folks? Is there another day of more horror, more taking apart the fundamentals of America and democracy? I don't know. I'm just so disgusted. So if anybody is out there that is listening that wants to change it, get off the couch and do it. Go volunteer. Do something in your community. Make it better on a local level. And that's where I'll leave it. Hi, guys. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
So, Pat, how long have you been working with Make-A-Wish?
I've been with Make-A-Wish almost 2 years now.
Wow, that went fast. Okay. Like it?
Love it. It's awesome.
Why is it fulfilling? Why do you enjoy doing it?
I think that these kids and their families, and Skylar is going to talk to you a little bit about her wish today, they go through so many challenges that I've been very fortunate not to face with my children, anything we can do to lighten the load a little bit and give them some hope and inspiration and just a break, something really fun, is really a great thing. You know, wishes are more than just a nice thing. They really give the family that time away from treatment and the stress that sometimes that causes and everything that they've been through, and gives them something to celebrate. And, you know, we're very lucky. I'm not a doctor. I can't cure cancer, but we can do a very nice thing that will create memories for the rest of their lives, I think.
I've known you as a personal friend, but I'm always impressed about you're never home. And that meaning I'm impressed about that is that you're always on the word, you're just working all the time. You're always on the road.
Oh. Well,
is that a lot of travel for
That's kind of the life of the nonprofit leader. You know, we're out working in the community, raising support and sharing what we do, and because it takes a community to drive Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish has, our local chapter serves the Tri-Counties of Ventura, Santa Barbara, and San Luis Obispo.
Oh, wow, you go all
the way
there.
So it's a big footprint and a lot of families to serve. Right now we have 80 kids waiting on wishes, so, and they come in each week. We just had 3 come into our office this week.
So how does, like somebody at home that's watching this, how does the Make-A-Wish criteria work? What's the procedural? I mean, did they contact you? Or
well, most anyone can refer a child. It's most often the family, a medical advisor, physician, social worker. Okay. It can even be the child themselves. So it's an online process that gets it started, and then they can do it online at our website. And then there's a medical criteria that I'm not a doctor either, so it's dangerous for me to spit any of that out, but there is a medical eligibility criteria. And if the child is deemed eligible medically, then they're eligible for WISH. WISH granters, which are volunteers, we have over 70 active WISH granting volunteers. They go out and meet with the family and the child.
Is that like an interview process? Okay.
And they meet with the child and they talk, and they try to determine the child's most heartfelt wish, what's really meaningful to them. Even though it's a family trip or experience, many times they really want to get to what's really important to the child. And then they come back to the office and we review, and if that's something we can do and the doctor approves, we go for it. And you know, there's not too many things that we can't do, actually. You know.
So what ages are you looking at?
Ages 2.5 to 18 children.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow, a 2.5-year-old can actually participate?
Yep,
That's amazing.
And sometimes for a 2.5-year-old, it's Disney,
Yeah.
because they're very familiar, and when they're receiving treatments or they have their downtime between medical procedures, they watch a lot of Disney. So that's very common for the little ones. But really, the sky's the limit. We've had folks meet their most favorite celebrity or celebrity athlete. We've built play sets and above ground pools, bedroom makeovers modeled after Rapunzel.
Really?
Just, we really try to treat it like the sky's the limit, as long as it's not dangerous and they're medically capable of having that experience.
So have you ever had anybody say, well, we just can't do that? I mean, no?
No, not since I've been around.
Good
so
to
we
hear,
try to dream big.
I'm like, oh wow, if a kid really wants to do something, and you just make sure
we
that
try
it
to
gets
make
done.
it happen. Yep.
As
long as it's safe.
Work hard.
Yep. Five full-time staff members, really, really working hard, and 70 volunteers.
And you're a 501c3.
They make it happen. Yep, we are.
So you have to go through grant processes to get extra monies. You do fundraising into the community.
Mm-hmm. All of that. And most of our support comes from individual gifts.
Yeah.
Yep. So
no wonder it's so hard to get you out for dinner.
Well, that could be part of it. The community really supports us, and it really takes, it's a little bit of a, I don't mean to be kind of, Pollyanna, but it really does take a village to put together a wish.
No, you're not Pollyanna. I know your heart, and that's genuine coming from you. You guys are really lucky you got her there. So, Skylar, what's your story? I mean, how did you get involved with Make-A-Wish?
Well, I had a cardiac arrest 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
How old were you?
I was 16 at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal for a kid.
Yeah. So in the hospital, I was constantly asking, oh, can One Direction come and see me? Like, does this mean that, and then the nurse that was bringing stuff to me, like Play-Doh and stuff for me to play with, because I was bedridden. I couldn't get out of my bed or even out of my room. So she was like, well, there's Make-A-Wish. And then my mom looked into it and was like, she had applied me to it, and that's how I got my Make-A-Wish.
You were just how does a heart attack happen to a kid?
It was a cardiac arrest.
Okay, so explain to me the differences. Maybe I've got these confused.
She has a fatal arrhythmia. It's ventricular tachycardia, and it just takes you down in a second, and you're dead.
Have you had episodes before? No, this was a first.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, I was home, luckily. I just got home. I'm a nurse from work, and I was able to do CPR on her and bring her back, her dad and I.
That's no mistake that you were home.
I know. I just thank God for that every day.
Yeah, that was no mistake.
Yeah.
That was...
She's meant to be here.
Wasn't your time to go, kid.
Nope.
Wow, so I'm just floored. So this was congenital? I mean...
yeah, it's...
genetic.
It is genetic inheritance?
Yeah, and it's also, she's got a connective tissue disorder that causes it, and it kind of creates problems through her whole body, too, and a lot of pain, but she's dealing with it.
You look great.
Yeah.
And you got the right attitude, too. I think attitude's just about everything. It sometimes supersedes even the physical challenges.
Yeah.
So Steph, where'd you hear about Make-A-Wish?
One of the doctors mentioned it, and I knew that she had wanted it, and then the process just started. And like she said, we had an interview, and then they were wonderful, the whole process. They just made her feel so special.
Yeah.
Well, that all stems from Pat's, too. I mean, she's the right person for the job. Okay, you're going to laugh at this. So who is Niall Horan?
Niall Horan.
Who is this guy?
He's from One Direction.
And One Direction is which direction?
I don't know.
What is it?
They're all different directions right now, but they were a band. They came from X Factor, the UK version. So they got 3rd place, and then all of a sudden everyone was like, "Oh no, that."
So this is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were like the biggest boy band in the world at the time.
The Beatles.
Yeah, they're very similar.
But today's version.
Similar to the Beatles
Maybe
of our
not
time.
exactly right.
Mine would
But
probably,
cooler,
mine would,
I guess. I don't know.
I didn't even listen to the Beatles. I was listening to jazz in high school. I was a weird kid. So you got hooked up with him. That's what you wanted to do, is meet him?
Yeah, I wanted to meet all of them, but since they tried to make it happen, but because they're not a band, they're on a hiatus right now.
Okay.
It wouldn't have worked out because they were all doing concerts that night, and it didn't meet up very well. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't mind that. So I'd rather just meet Niall. That was my first plan, and then I was like, well, why go big or go home? Meet all of them. But I ended up meeting Niall, and it was really great. I'm glad that I got that one-on-one
God,
experience.
what a thrill.
Yeah.
And you actually got to do this? You guys
Yeah.
made this happen? How do you do this? Do you work with management people and agents and all that jazz? Is that how it works?
Yes, so at our national office, because we're one of 62 affiliates across the country that have Make-A-Wish chapters serving children and their families in the local areas. But at our national office, they help us maintain the celebrity and celebrity athletes relationships so that there aren't lots of folks going. So when we find out a wish like Skylar's, we send it up to our national office and they maintain those relationships.
Did you know who this guy was?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay.
So when these
Just
wishes
checking.
come in sometimes, we're like, what's that, or who's that, or it's a YouTube star. So we get on, thank goodness for Google, and we get on the internet real quick and figure out what it is that they want to do or who it is we're talking about. So,
And these people are all very gracious and say, yes, we'd be more than happy to do this.
It is amazing, the outpouring of generosity of these folks. They've got a lot to do just like we all do, but they make time, because it's a meaningful thing, and they know these kids are big fans, and there are a lot of personal stories tied to it, not just a big fan, but what that meant to that child and how it helped them get through their health journey.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, exciting. I mean, for you, my gosh, what'd you do when you met him?
I have...
Do you have pictures?
Yeah, I do. But I couldn't believe that it was happening. I had been waiting so long to meet him that it was just this isn't real. This isn't happening. I still haven't cried about it.
Wow.
I thought I was going to pass out when I met him, but I was just oh my God.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
What a treat. What a thrill, though. And how good it makes you feel as a parent to be able to make your child happy like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
to see her excited.
And from the first day, they pick you up in a limo and take you to the airport. They provided everything while we were there. She got to go bowling. She got to go
Dave and
Buster's. And the whole time, everything was paid for. We were just so grateful.
Now, where did this take place?
In Arizona.
It was in Arizona.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we learned that the first wish was made in Arizona.
I didn't know
while
that.
we were there.
That is true.
Yeah.
How did the nonprofit start? Anyway, what's the origins?
It was a little boy that wanted to be, Chris Gracious, who wanted to be a policeman. And he had leukemia, and at the time, the treatment for leukemia was not what it is now. So the prognosis wasn't good.
So great.
So they said, okay, well, we're going to make this happen. And so the sheriffs and the police and everybody made it happen. He had a little uniform. The picture hangs in our national office. It's a wonderful story. And that's how Make-A-Wish was born. And then they thought, other kids might want to have a wish as well. And so chapters were started across the country.
What year was this?
In 1985.
So it's been around for a while. I hear about and this is true. I'm not trying to blow smoke here, Pats. But before you took over, I didn't even know we had a chapter out here because it was so quiet. But you took over and the place has exploded. I mean, you're in the newspapers and you're in magazines, you're everywhere, and every time I go, you want to do something? No, I'm working. Weekends too. So, and then you're out and you're on travel with it too. So I am very encouraged by 501c3s. I believe in what they do. And I believe that's really the heartbeat of most communities too. There's, you know, a lot of profit stuff out there, but the communities, like, they stepped up for you. I mean, this is what it's really should be. This is where we need to step back from the politics and the craziness that's going on right now, because it doesn't make any sense. But this is what really matters. And you'll never forget this. This is like a milestone in your life. Yeah. And you'll tell your kids, and you're going, hey, guess what I got to do? Yeah.
Well, and then we had a whole year of traveling back and forth to children's and appointments, and she has a device now in her heart. And it was just nice to have a break from all that. I bet. And just to spend time with her, quality time with her, without having to go to an appointment or talk about, you know, what's going on or anything like that. So,
how'd you feel about that? I've never asked that before. How'd you feel about your parents going through all this? Did you feel a little bit like, wow, I wish I didn't have to do this for you? And
yeah, it was definitely really hard, because I felt, because I wasn't awake when it happened, that it was so traumatic for them. It was still traumatic for me, but it's not anywhere near as traumatic for the people that were actually there, because they saw what was happening. They saw that I wasn't breathing and like all of this crazy stuff. And it's like, to think that that was me and I caused that. It did take me a long time to like
get over the guilt.
Yeah, and just kind of push it down and be like, at least they were there.
Because you had no control.
Yeah, it wasn't. My body was.
No, you were consciously making that decision.
Yeah,
that's pretty grown-up thinking.
Yeah,
good for you. I applaud that. Some people never get that. I'm impressed, Skylar. Good job.
Thank you.
And for you to have to go through this, you and your husband, I mean, just watching your child go through all this pain and all this, you know, and like you said, the schlepping back and forth.
Yeah.
That takes a lot out of your life.
Yeah.
How do you adjust schedules? How do you make that work?
Yeah, you just do. I mean, we are still working, but we just did. And having this break, though, and having this vacation was just, it was incredible.
How long was it?
We got there Thursday, and then we left Monday.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a while. Yeah. And they had everything planned out for us. We had our own little packet, was like, at this time you're doing this, and then someone will pick you up and you'll go to dinner, and it was just like one after another, so you're constantly like doing stuff, and it was, even though it was busy, it was like, this is fun, like I'm having a great time.
Remembering what it was like.
Yeah.
And getting to do it again.
Yeah.
You have a pretty normal life now? Do you have
to
restrictions?
An extent, yeah, I do, yeah.
You can't do anything like hard physical exercise or anything?
No. When I was in the hospital, they said that I wasn't able to play volleyball ever again. And they've kind of loosened the reins a little bit, and I'm able to play beach volleyball.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Our granddaughter plays beach. It's fascinating. That's pretty arduous too. That's a lot of work.
It's not as intense as indoor volleyball. It's I can play beach volleyball and not sweat. It's like, it's just fun. It's not as competitive as indoor is.
How are you doing in school? You like school?
Yeah, right now I'm in home hospital.
What's that?
It's like I go to Buena High School, but
okay.
She has a teacher that comes to our house twice a week.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So she can graduate the school year and
with your buds.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that. That's Ventura Unified. Mm-hmm. My employer, my old employer.
And she's also Buena's senior class president.
Yeah.
Skylar, you go, girl.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, she got involved when she couldn't play volleyball anymore. She replaced it with ASB, and it's been great for her.
Yeah.
Personal growth.
Yep.
Challenges. I like this. Those doors wouldn't have been there.
No.
So this is actually an advantage.
Yeah.
I think with most people that face that kind of a situation or that experience, you learn new lessons, and it's kind of like life lessons. You got them super early. Most of us get this when we're really old. But you got these super early, and I think that's a huge advantage over everybody else.
Yeah, I think that I had to grow up a little faster than everyone else.
What a gift.
Kind of realize, like, the meaning of life and, like, just, like, I don't know how to explain it, just, like, taking in everything and not taking it so hard.
You must be very proud of her, Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
You should be.
Yeah.
You're really something.
Great kid.
So, Pats, what are we going to do in the future? How are you going to grow Make-A-Wish? How can we help you besides getting the word out?
Well, we have a big event tomorrow, actually.
Okay, tell us about the event.
It is a Miles Drive campaign hosted by KEYT, News Channel 3. They're big supporters, and we appreciate that very much. The whole month of May, you can donate airline miles, and really any time during the year. It's just our campaign focus. Miles make a big difference in helping kids get on wishes. So of those 80 kids waiting on wishes, about 80% of those wishes will involve airline travel. So
that's an easy one. You can do that from home.
You can do it from home. Tomorrow we'll be at the office from 4:30. Tomorrow is
a.m.
I don't know what day tomorrow is. May 16th. Yes, from 4:30 a.m. until 7 in the evening.
Keeping my hours, right?
Yes. So you can call in. You can do it directly. You don't have to call us at all. You just go online to our website and
can you do that throughout the year too?
Yes, anytime, and even beyond the month of May. We accept those all year round. The really good thing about donating airline miles is they never expire once they're donated to us. So they would expire when you have them at normally a year to 18 months, but they never expire once donated to us.
That's fantastic.
So
what a great idea to remember.
It's great. Takes about 50,000 miles for a domestic airline round trip ticket.
Okay.
Our average family size, it varies from 3 to 6 plus, but the average is about 5 for us. So 250,000 miles it would take for a domestic flight, and double that for a international flight.
That's achievable. Anybody could do that.
So it sounds like big numbers,
but it's not really.
Collectively, whether you donate 1,000 or 50,000, that all adds up, and it will help us send these families on their wish and keep our costs down. And the more we keep the costs down, the more wishes we can provide. So it's really, really an easy way to help. We need gift cards. Those we use to offset the cost of a wish or put it in a backpack when a kid's going on their wish. And volunteers, bilingual volunteers. And we have trainings for that twice a year. So if any of those things are of interest, you can call us directly.
And the number's going to be on the screen, so everybody will get this, and you'll get your website. So we'll have your website.
So volunteering, donating miles, donating cash, gift cards.
I bet you love your job now.
It's so awesome. I really do. I feel very honored and humbled to be able to lead the organization and such a great team of staff and volunteers. It's really,
what a
lucky.
Win-win, Skylar. I mean, gosh, Steph, when you think about, you got support.
Yeah.
And people care.
Yeah.
And I think in this world, right now, it's really confusing out there, and it's crazy, and nothing's certain tomorrow.
Right.
But this is just pretty magical.
Yeah.
I don't know any other word for it. It's a miracle. And you're a miracle. You're alive.
Yeah.
We're extremely grateful.
You bet, every day.
Yeah.
Every day's a miracle.
Yep.
Let's see what else we can do to help you, Pat. Send you money. I'm trying to think what else by getting the words out there.
All that good stuff. If you have questions or if you want to volunteer, if you know someone that you think might be eligible for a wish, send them to the website, or they can call our office. It takes a village. If you are someone that could help make a wish come true by being a volunteer vendor or a supporter, we do a build for a playhouse. We've done a pool recently. We had the community get behind that. So it's
You did a pool?
We did an above ground pool. It was a big project. It's a wonderful family that a mother with 5 foster children, salt of the earth. We have such great families. I could tell you stories for days, but this was an especially kind wish where the community just really came in. Dan Long is the wish granter for that wish and has done a phenomenal job.
Our Dan Long?
Dan Long. Yep.
Really?
So you can grant a wish. You can be a wish granter and grant a wish once a year or more. The wish granters tell me it's one of the most meaningful things that they've ever done. So I encourage you, if you have an inclination, to call us up and we can talk more about what that means.
Yeah, it's like hometown heroes. It's a win for everybody.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Feeling good about that, and,
Yeah.
and seeing the end result and how much that means to a family. It's fantastic. It's all good stuff.
Makes the world a better place to be. I want to thank you, all of you, for coming out. Gosh, Pats, I wasn't aware of how big this was, but I'm really impressed. And I don't get impressed easily, you know that.
Thank you.
Skylar, I don't know what to say other than you are wise beyond your years. Use it well. What do you want to do? Do you want to do something with this someday?
Hopefully. I definitely would love to be like a motivational speaker.
I could see it.
Yeah.
You've got the heart for it, and you're obviously intelligent enough to do this, too. Good parents, too. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks for bringing her.
Oh, yeah, thank you for having her.
Oh, my pleasure to get the word out.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back next week. We've got some really interesting guests coming up in the next couple of months. Some probably are going to surprise you. Some are going to be political in nature. Some are going to be also heartfelt stories. But always it's a surprise. And remember, get off the couch. Get out there and do something. Just don't sit there and complain. There's plenty of people that do that. Get busy. Make your place a better place to live. Thanks for joining us.